The power of the hookup. I told you all, I like Drew hanging with Portia. Look at that confessional. Who Drew been hanging with? Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on the video. This is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 13, Episode 14. And listen, I was saying this a couple episodes ago, how I really like Portia and Drew and Shamia hanging out together. But Portia and Drew, I enjoyed hanging out together. And I'm looking at this confessional. Baby, Drew's confessional look says Portia Williams all over it. She's having a positive influence over Drew and that look. Because, you know, Drew, I like Drew, but Drew, that baby has a problem when it comes down to the dressing. But in that confessional, it's very risque. It's very vampish. It gives me a little interview with the vampire, and just pushed into the, you know, more current. It gives me Portia Williams is what it gives me. She look good. Miss Drew, you look good up there. Now that look, I think, has been the best look this season. That's good. That's good, Drew. You keep on hanging with Portia. Now, one thing, you know, Portia be getting on my nerves. Sometimes she be saying dumb stuff, and sometimes I don't agree with what she be doing and saying. But one thing, that heifer knows she look good. Portia know her ass be clean as the Board of Health. So, yes, indeed. Okay, so let's just talk about some of the stuff that was going on. There was a whole bunch going on here. Kenya, Falynn, and Marlo met down at Marlo's boutique. It's kind of crowded, but it's cute. It reminds me of exactly what it is. It's like a little boutique, and it's a little consignment shop. It was a little tight, but that's generally what they give. It's generally what they give. I like this for Marlo. I liked Marlo's hair. You know, Marlo always looks good anyway, but I liked her little hair, the little short hair, because, you know, usually she has a lot of hair. And Kenya, I don't know, I'm just overrun with compliments right now. But Kenya, you look good, mama. Kenya look good. You know, Kenya was having some weight issues. Like everybody. Everybody's had some weight gain and struggles for the most part with this whole COVID thing. Some of the people who do like the best workouts and they really stand on their workouts, they even had a difficult time with the whole pandemic and being stuck in the house and stuff. So people had some struggles. Kenya was having some struggles when we first started in these first episodes. But when we seen Kenya walk up with that little dress, it was a cute little shirt dress. And Miss Kenya Moore was looking really, really good. She looked really good. She got that thing back together. Got it back together. We also seen in this episode, Candy is back on it. She got another movie role, and she's working, getting herself together. I'll give them that. I'll give them that. These girls, when they set their mind to things, especially when it comes to sculpting their bodies and stuff, they really go ahead and they get it done. You know, of course they play whatever surgery games they play, but we see them out there doing the work to keep themselves looking good. So all you could do is tip your hat to them and say, hey, you know, it is what it is. Whether you really like the person as a character or not, one thing they do, they really do stay on top of, you know, keeping themselves looking youthful and pulled together. Sometimes it's just a matter of taste. You know, whether you like that type of style or you like that kind of style. But as far as body-wise and body image, they really do work. You know, they don't have each other. They're in Atlanta, Georgia. Child, the land of grease and grits and fried stuff. Child, that's a commitment to keep your body snatched. And they do that. So, you know, I ain't got no reads on none of that. My hat's off to them. My hat's off to them. They look good when they look good even when they ain't on. But you notice the difference. When we first came in this season, Kenya, she's depressed, and she was also in that house, her and the baby, and she was having some struggles with weight. But on this episode, as soon as she hit that bend and came down, I said, "Oh, Miss Kenya," I took my pen and started writing. I said, "Miss Kenya looked good," and I mean, it was very noticeable that she had been working and she looked really, really good. So that was that. I just had to put that out there. You know, I drag her when she don't be doing right, so I'm gonna definitely uphold her when she is doing something great, and she looks fabulous. Anyway, now she got up in there in the consignment shop being ignorant. Tell me, I don't know if I trust these girls around here. I don't know. And the clothes, that's kind of, it grosses me out, honey. They got that wop and all that. You don't trust the girls, or you don't know where to put them, because it seems like your WAP radar is at an all-time high, Miss Kenya. You sure you ain't enjoying the girls with all the WAP, honey? Shh. I won't tell anybody, honey. Moving on, moving on. And then Marlo had the nerve to tell her about the party over Chez with the non-auntie party over at the niece's party, honey, and told her about LaToya babbling on. I said, uh-oh. And you could see the discontent in Kenya's face. I said, she's going to get you, LaToya, baby. She's going to get you. Moving on. Drew was sitting talking with her mom, and she's about going, she has some business things that she needs to do. She has to go down to New Orleans, you know, any excuse to go to New Orleans. Everybody runs and goes for a good time down in New Orleans. She decides she wants to invite the girls to go down with her. Now, while she's there, she wants to kind of dig into her past a little bit, because her mom, there's some of their lineage is actually in New Orleans. She wanted to learn some things. Now, we found out her mom's in her 70s, and her mom was very passionate when she spoke, and she had very strong feelings when she's talking about the fact she was adopted. They actually do have Caucasian folks in their family and all of this kind of thing. And Drew was talking about like kind of searching for like her grandparents stuff. Her mother wanted no parts of it. She didn't entertain it. She wasn't here for it. She's like, I ain't got none of that to do. Period. About her biological parents, you want to search up, or you know, my adopted family, hey, I'm here for it. But them other folks, and it's so funny because that's the transition. Because we did all this with Grandma, and then we kind of slid right into this whole story of Drew's little son, cute little boy, and here it is. His father was incarcerated. His actual biological father was incarcerated. Now he's actually out, and he's been reaching out. And we found out later on, the little boy don't want anything to do with him. I said, well, I don't even know. What do you even do with that? I adopted children, and I know they always wanted to know their parents, and wanted to be reunified and all that stuff. So that, I expected. They had an interest in knowing who their parents were. But I don't know, what do you do when the child just basically wants nothing to do with? What do you do with that? I don't know. I mean, because we know as an adult how important it is as you grow older to know where you came from. Even if you don't forge a relationship that you keep on working with. But it's very important to know where you came from. Especially when you get older in your life, as it pertains to like knowing who to sleep with and who not to sleep with. And you got to be very careful, because you don't want to create children, and don't know that you done ran into one of your relatives. And shit gets murky. That water is murky. But for a child, he's like 9. And he, at 9, when he says he don't want to be bothered, he know he don't want to be bothered. It's not like a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old. A 9-year-old knows they don't goddamn want to be bothered. So I'm like, it was ugly. We had a scene where Drew and Ralph, because see, now Ralph actually he feels very strongly that he needs to know his father and all of this stuff. I just I don't know how I felt about it, because even when they were talking to him and he was really steadfast and no, no, I don't want to talk to him. No, I don't want to be bothered. No, no, no. And then it was starting to kind of feel creepy, like they were like forcing him. And I'm like, that can't be the right answer. You know, and then you got the flip side. Now you got the father. He's the father, and the father wants to have something to do with the child. So he got feelings too, but he's an adult. But I mean, come on, he been incarcerated for 9 years, 8 or 9 years. So where is he mentally? You know, child, it's just too much. It's a whole smorgasbord of bullshit. It's. I don't envy Drew and Ralph at all with this situation. And I'm telling you, like I said, I adopted. My children were always, they always wanted to be in relation with their biological parents. So I know how to deal with that. I don't know where to go with, you don't want to deal. What do you do with that? I don't know. I'll just keep watching. I really don't know what to say on that. Anyway, all right. Let's let's move away from that. Poor little baby, little thing, and they kind of like forced him into like well, maybe. He said, when I say maybe, I mean in the years to come. He was so, I mean, he's smart. He said, I mean maybe in the years to come. I don't mean maybe right now. I said, well, all right, little boy. Looking just like Drew. I said, okay. Anyway, let's move on. Mike and Cynthia. They were sitting up there laughing about how long Cynthia was talking on her vows. She was truly babbling on. Babbling on. When Mike said, I was waiting on them to start playing the Oscars music and go to commercial, I about fell out. I said, oh, he is so shady. Mike got jokes, though. Mike is, all through this season, I've been really paying attention to Mike. Mike is funny. Like, he has a whole comedic thing about him. Sometimes just the faces he makes, hilarious. Hilarious. And you know his wife is a goon. You know, she's a goon. When he told her when they were walking, he's like, come on, baby. He said, you like a brand new animal on these bricks down there with the heels on. Said, you walking like a brand new giraffe. I said, oh. And I looked at her hair and looked at her and her legs. I said, well. Mike got jokes. Anyway, but they were talking about that. And he was telling her, basically, listen, this is what's going on. I want to buy another house in Atlanta, larger than Lake Bailey. Okay. So I have some designated space of my own, something that is ours. He said, flat out, I'm going to keep the house in L.A., you know, keep the house in L.A. And Cynthia was like, okay, she was on board. Cynthia, here you go. This is that thing about Cynthia being Cynthia. Cynthia said out of her mouth, yeah, she's all happy. But then she's like, well, I don't really care about what happens to Lake Bailey. If you feel like that, Cynthia, just give Lake Bailey to your daughter. Just give it to her. Give her the house, because I think your daughter will make wiser decisions, and she'll have the house available in case things don't work out. She'll have some goddamn where to go. You ready to just throw it all in. I mean, I understand being in love and all that. You do realize he ain't giving up his house. Why you so willing to give up yours? Because you're a goon. That's why. Give it to Noel. Just give the house to Noel. Because Noel got more sense than you do. Give the house to Noel, and I think Noel will know that your mammy might have to have somewhere to go if this shit don't work out. Give the house to the baby, Cynthia, you goddamn goon. Anyway, but that just kind of, I said, girl, there you go again. Throw your whole self into whatever's going on. No. I'm not throwing my whole self into a goddamn thing. I already threw myself into a dress and a ceremony and all that and a cute little ring and all that, but I'm not throwing everything I got at you. I'm not doing it. Sorry. I'm going to always have James on the side just in case this shit we got together don't work out. I got to always be able to fall comfortably back into James land. Period. Sorry, it could be right, it could be wrong. It's the way I see things because I don't trust nobody 100% with me. Sorry. Anyway, moving on. Give the house to Noel, child. Moving on. We go over here to Falynn's party. So Falynn had an awesome costume. She's Medusa. Candy had an awesome costume. She didn't even look like Candy. Shamil was an astronaut. It was cute. Even stupid Latoya, she was a dead mermaid. Her costume was cute. Kenya's costume, the girls all felt was really problematic because she was dressed as a native Indian. And it was like, and like Drew said, I didn't feel like picking an argument with her. I just didn't feel like going into an argument with her. Just let her have it. To hell with it. Smart. But it was like, whatever, Kenya. Whatever. Whatever, girl. Cynthia's costume, corny. Hand sanitizer. Girl, it took me a minute to figure out that she was hand sanitizer. Girl, I thought she was great to do not even an updated version, but the retro version of Let's Get Physical, Physical. I want to get physical. I thought she was great to come up in there. I thought she was being Olivia Newton-John. So don't judge me, honey. Costume sucked. Anyway, that was that. Portia's costume, you didn't have a costume on. You just had on an outfit. You came straight there from Dish Nation and just put some bunny ears on and just came on to the party. Quit playing with us, Portia. And you were late, as usual. Anyway, Latoya, you trifling. You are just trifling. And I don't even know no nicer way to even approach it. Your ass is trifling. You came in there, guns a-blazing, talking to that girl real crazy in her house. She just came in attacking Falynn, telling her, girl, you need to serve me. I need some drinks and this, that, and the other, and on and on and on. And she's like, this, that. And then they all was kind of shading her about the fact that there wasn't hardly no food there. You know, I guess she said, shit, I ain't spending a whole bunch of money on you hoes. I ain't part of this show for real. I'm just a friend. And I ain't even a friend to a friend. I'm a friend to the whole damn cast. Girl, bye. She had some hors d'oeuvres, honey. A pig in a blanket or two. A couple dewdrops, honey. And told them, do drop by again and get the hell on out of here. But whatever. So that was that. And she was being shady. And then she said, well, this is what you do when you marry up and you marry a 65-year-old man. Her husband is not 65. He's not 65. She's being shady. Very shady. And she kept throwing jabs at her like, girl, she came up. Girl, she was from the ghetto too. She came up. Whatever, girl. I was like, jealous much? Hating much? Why are you even here at a person's house that you feel like this about? And Drew immediately was triggered because, you know, she's always coming at her about Ralph. I was like, girl, Latoya, she's just problematic. And then she comes in there and her and Kenya tells her, I want to talk to you. So they go to the side and they get talking about this whole thing of her blabbing her business. And Kenya, you can see Kenya was very serious talking to Latoya. Latoya's like blowing her off and she's kikiing and laughing. And all of this ain't doing that but making Kenya even madder. Because you're in this whole thing. You're in a whole situation right here, Kenya, with her where you're a joke. You're a joke. The whole fact that you sugar mama and all that old shit. Girl, you're a joke to her. She don't care nothing about you. You cater to her ego and she thinks what y'all got going on is a whole joke. And she's like, the whole thing of you being jealous of her kissing on Portia. Girl, it's all a joke to her. And really, you put yourself in this position. You have put yourself in this position for this little tramp to be treating you and girl like you ain't shit. Like you just some old desperate old bitch. That's how she's treating you. Like a old desperate bitch. And I don't know no nicer way to say it. I don't like it. I'm an old bitch myself. And I wouldn't dare have no young tramp treating me like that. Girl, I wish I would, honey. Sugar mama. Sugar shit, bitch. You better get on out of here. You the one that's a bum bitch. I got it going on. The hell you talking about? You better get on out of here. But she got you all wrapped up and got you looking a fool out in these streets. But whatever, girl. Not taking you seriously at all. But Kenya was getting mad and she was telling her, she said, don't raise your voice at me. She would say, I'm Trinidadian. So, girl, first of all, don't do that to people from Trinidad. So just because you're from Trinidad, that means you got to be loud. That means you got to be rude. And then that also means that people got to deal with it. No. Because you know what, you'll be Trinidadian with a good ass whooping. You need to stop. That's not cute. And everybody from Trinidad is not loud and they are not rude. So stop with the stereotypes. Go sit down. You do too much. You do way too much. Then after they finish talking, she comes down. There's a couple more things. And while they were separated out, you could tell Falynn was really bothered by the things that were said in the way that she was acting. So they have a couple more words. And then she's basically like, I'm leaving. I'm bored. They all said they were bored. But anyway. And there were nobody else there. But it's a COVID time party anyway. So she's leaving. So they're like, oh, she's like, can you walk me out? Can you? Ken's like, I'm walking you nowhere, girl. And she's like, Portia, will you walk me out? See what I mean? Playing both ends against the middle. Portia's like, okay. Portia goes and walks her out. They sit down. They start having chat sitting on the front steps. And Portia's letting her know, listen, I don't like this. Like the stuff that's going on with you and how you're behaving, girl, it's going to cause a rift between you and I. Because I'm not going to let you drag up old shit. Like I'm not getting ready to argue with an old bitch, with an old beef about some shit that a new bitch brought in. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing it. And I'm not going to let you lead me down that road. So if you keep on going like you're going, it's going to cause a problem with you and I. I said, I get it. I know just what you're talking about, Portia. And I love that Portia being very mature about this. Because Portia could really roll this in Kenya's face and rub it all in her face. But she's not. She's not. Now, a big part of that is Portia knows she's guilty of lap riding that goddamn bolo girl. And you don't want to have that conversation about Kenya calling you a tramp and she's dragging you already. She wants to just kind of let it just go away. But little Latoya ain't helping that at all. Then they get out there. They end up coming out. And Falynn ends up outside. And then she says to her, what is going on? Why is things like this? This, that. Just trying to get like a decent, like clarity and just squashing the situation. Latoya just got real nasty. Goes and gets in the car. I'm getting in the car. I'm leaving. Screaming stuff out. Calling her all kind of bitches and whores and all this other stuff. And told her something about her having 3 babies, daddies and all. Just out of order to be saying to somebody at their house. And then, goddamn, Falynn snaps out. And she's running through the house like a bat out of hell. And she goes and gets this golf club. All of this is actually done for the cameras. She created a whole thing just for the cameras because they were outside. You were already outside. You were already out there with her. You ran back through the house because you were doing a show. If you really was that mad, you'd have ran over there and snatched that bitch out that car and gave her knock after knock after knock. And when you wouldn't have been running looking for no golf club, she would have been the golf club, honey. And you'd have been swinging her out there on that lawn. You wouldn't have been you were doing all that do it for the gram, honey. They ain't gonna do it. That's what you was doing, honey. So, whatever, Falynn. But she got all mad and it got to be a whole thing. Thank you for the cliffhanger, Falynn. Go sit down. But Latoya, completely out of order. Completely out of order. I wouldn't invite her to shit. Nothing. Anyway, That's it. It was interesting, very interesting. And her Halloween party was decked out real groovy in the first part when you first come in. But then as they got back into the house, it was a boring ass party. Anyway, all right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later.